Hey, what's up, guys? This is Reminisce Games coming back with an NBA 2K18 expansion team myleague. Woo, that's a mouthful. Right here, we picked Montreal. We're going with the Harfangs. It's a pre-made team. Without wasting time, I just wanted to get right into the expansion draft. It's kind of slim pickings. All the young players are fairly low rated with mediocre potential, so they're not really worth taking. What I elected to do was take some veterans with a little bit higher overall score on really short contracts. I was hoping to transition all of them into a solid bench, and maybe we could snag a couple free agents in the future, or possibly maybe draft our future franchise player. So that was kind of my idea going into this expansion draft. As you can see, I'm drafting all pretty old players, you know, Jeremy Lin, Michael Beasley right here. We took Thaddeus Young. We got we're gonna end up taking Rajon Rondo, and just a lot of solid veterans. But problem with that is we're not going to have a lot of upwards mobility. Most of our players are going to, in fact, decrease their score. But like I said, it's going to make a fairly good bench in the future. I'm hoping a lot of these guys that were starters this year can transition into a solid bench role for us. And so that is why I didn't draft a whole lot of younger players. And I've also found the problem with drafting a lot of young players in the expansion draft is a lot of their contract extensions are up, or their contracts are up at the same time. So you do have more of a problem retaining them and signing future free agents. So I'm kind of wary of drafting all young players right here. We're just going to go ahead and download the 2K18 draft class. This is my first time trying any of these, so in future videos I will be maybe switching up depending on the quality of the draft class. And right here we are just going to set our players' minutes. We're going to be starting Jeremy Lin. JJ Redick is going to be our 2 guard. Luke Richard Mbamute is our 3, with Thaddeus Young at the 4. And surprisingly, Jamel McGee at the 5. That's actually a pretty switchable defensive starting 5, especially with Mbamute and Thaddeus Young kind of lurking around out there on the inside and the outside. We have the stock coach, Millen Mack. We'll end up replacing him, but not right now. And I actually wanted to get a couple minutes of gameplay for the first time I've actually ever played a game in 2K18. So that's why I'm showing you guys this. It's just the last 4 minutes. I also thought it was weird that Chris Bosh ended up on the Pacers. He actually made him a pretty decent team with him and Miles Turner. It's actually kind of interesting to see how they operate. Bosh was killing us, although we got the nice block right there. Problem with all the guys I drafted, they're all fine role players. It's just we don't really have a go-to scorer, and Michael Beasley was kind of filling in that role for us as I was playing this game. But Bosh was pretty much tearing him up on the other end. So in crunch time, it was pretty tough to get a bucket. Everybody could shoot a 3, but no one's like a give it to him and let him go to work type of scorer. We were even chucking up 3s with Vince Carter, who's 40 at this point in time. And another thing I wanted to say is a lot of these old guys I drafted, don't be afraid to pick them up in free agency on cheap contracts. They're really going to help your bench out. and be more affordable than some young players that may take a couple years to develop if you're on a timeline to winning a championship. But yeah, this isn't going so well. We are just kind of treading water here. We got lucky with that Reddick 3 previously, and we're actually trying to run a smart play. Got off a crap shot, and I lose the first game I've ever played in this. I'm sure it won't be the last game that I lose while playing this. But right now we just jumped to the end of the season. Westbrook is your MVP. Lonzo Ball, Rookie of the Year. Teodosic, all right. Sixth Man of the Year. That's our player. Andre Drummond is Defensive Player of the Year. I don't buy that. Karl Anthony Towns and Mike D'Antoni. We don't have anybody on the All-NBA teams, so not really too interested in that. Do have All-Rookie first team with Milos, which is pretty interesting, seeing as how he's a 31-year-old rookie. Kind of reminds me of when Luis Scola came into the league. That's what happened to him. And we actually made the playoffs in our first year of existence as an expansion team. So that's actually pretty impressive in itself. I'm going to go ahead and simulate these games, and surprisingly, Jeremy Lin gets hurt, which kind of sucks. We were on a roll in the playoffs, but we do have a pretty decent backup point guard, and our third guard, Rajon Rondo, is also pretty decent. Our team is basically made up of high 70s players, and I just think the depth is what kind of got us this far in this season, and pretty, why can't I think of the word, guys? Versatile. Holy hell, it's a pretty versatile team as far as defense goes. Offense is pretty much just chucking up threes. I'm surprised we made it into the second round of the playoffs, but you know, I'll take it. Let's go ahead and get Jeremy Lin back in. He is our starting point guard after all. Yeah, we're gonna not play Poindexter, who's also a pretty good pickup. You can probably get him on a minimum for your my league. And Jeremy Lin is fully healed, so we're actually going to reset our our coach's plan. God, I'm having a hard time talking to you guys. And right there, Raptors pretty much dominate us. Just in the rest of the playoffs, your finals MVP is Kevin Durant. At least we were knocked out of the Eastern Conference by the Eastern Conference champions. I'll take that. And guys, I'll see you in the draft lottery right here. We're not even in the running for a lotto pick, so not really interested in that. Right here, we're basically going to be replacing our whole coaching staff. Ooh, Paul Pierce. Okay, that's cool. I wouldn't mind hiring Paul Pierce just for the novelty of it. But I like to sign all my coaching staff to multiple year contracts so I don't have to worry about it as I'm playing the game. It kind of gets annoying after a while. But I believe this guy that we're giving the contract to is a just randomly generated coach. Pretty sure all of the players, or excuse me, all of the staff that we're going to sign here are just randomly generated, which is fine. Me, I know some people like to get real coaches, but teach their own. And I am going to end up leaving the CFO. At this point, I don't really care. Still need that head coach. Looks like we're going to get Michael Stafford, 3 years, $14.5 million. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and get into the draft. A bunch of our summer league players got hurt. Not too interested in that. right here, I just skipped to our pick. I looked at some of the trades, but they're all kind of crap. I wasn't feeling in the end. I want to get a decent player to pick around. So we got Kevin Knox out of, I believe it's Texas. Sorry if I'm wrong. And we got Carl Lampney, who's actually a pretty good defensive player. Kevin Knox comes in at a 74. He'll be a nice bench player to replace one of our leaving free agents, probably Vince Carter. Don't have any qualifying offers to extend, so go ahead and jump into our free agency. Chris Bosh has made a comeback, which would be kind of nice in real life. I like Chris Bosh. I don't want to sign Kevin Durant for sake of realism. Carmelo Anthony, at the time of that I'm doing this voiceover, is currently on the Thunder, but I will throw him a contract. Basically, I'm just going for low to mid 80s to high 70s players to continue building our team. I don't feel this is the year we're going to snag our franchise player. So I just want to keep getting complimentary pieces, and we're not going to be able to get a very good complimentary piece if we sign Gary Harris to that gigantic contract. Or any of these players that they want $20 million a year for being rated 81 overall. I just don't think it's going to happen. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope tells us to get lost. Rodney Hood is just so expensive. So I'm trying to keep our options open. I want to sign the right big name free agent. I don't feel they're there this year. And I really don't think in real life Kevin Durant would even consider leaving the Warriors, so that is why I did not try to sign him. Darren Collis, JJ Redick, I feel is a pretty good bargain for $10 million a year. Greg Monroe, that's just so expensive, man. He'd be nice off the bench, but I just don't think it's worth it. Caldwell Pope, I'm getting kind of desperate. I do want to have a couple players locked down going into the next year, but I don't know if he's the right one. Derrick Rose, no. Alright, so this is our roster right here. Teodosic, Young, Green, Matthews, Lynn, Kevin Knox, and Carl Lampney. So we have a decent bench already. Gonna try to round out the rest of the roster. Al Jefferson. Who do we have? We'll go ahead and get all these guys on pretty much minimum deals. I forgot to show this trade, but we traded Danny Green and a second-round pick for Nikola Vujacic. Sorry, I can't say that. We signed Davis Bertans, Carl Lampney, Kevin Knox, Vince Carter, Rashard Mbamute, Tybo Cephalosha, Al Jefferson. We also have Jeremy Lin, Teodosic, Carter, and Redick. We also picked up Andrew Bogut as just a big man insurance policy. Our team, not too many franchise names, but we have a very solid team. It kind of reminds me of the Boston Celtics of the past couple of years. Just play really well as a cohesive unit rather than writing or just playing through one player specifically. So yeah, we're gonna hold off signing our free agent, or maybe next year we can sign or draft a franchise player. We're right here. We're gonna go ahead and take another look at our roster in case you guys care. Vujacic, Redick, Thaddeus Young, Lynn, Teodosic, Matthews, Rondo, Kevin Knox, Al Jefferson, Cephalosha, Vince Carter, Bertans, Mbamute, Bogut, and there's someone else I missed, but they're not going to get playing time, so no big deal. Oh, it's Wesley Matthews. I take the back. He is going to get playing time. With Vujacic, I feel we have somewhat of a cornerstone to build with. I just simulated to the end of the season. It looks like we are going to pretty much have the same record as last year. Westbrook wins MVP. Mohamed Bamba is Rookie of the Year. Tyreek Evans, 6th man. Julius Randle is going to be your MIP, which is pretty cool for Lakers fans. Those Minnesota's jerseys look so sick. But, again, we don't have anybody on all NBA teams. So, it's alright. Looks like we are going to go ahead and make the playoffs for 2 consecutive years in a row. I want to take a look at some of our guys, though. Nicola's playing really well. 19 points, 11 rebounds. Milos, I'm looking at 36 minutes. It just is more interesting to me to see them on a larger scale. But here's their real stats. Redick went from a 20 points per game score in his first season to 12. But, that's still pretty solid for a guy that's only making $10 million a year. Let's go ahead and simulate. I am not expecting to do very well in the playoffs. We still don't have our guy as far as franchise player, and we get knocked out in the first round. I'm not too heartbroken, even though we were the 2nd seed. It was kind of our fate to lose in the playoffs that early. We got James Harden as your Finals MVP. Looks like him and Chris Paul finally brought that championship home to Houston. Let's go ahead and just sim to the draft lotto again. Pacers, Hawks, and Blazers get the first 3 picks. And right here, I am going to trade my picks because every player that was available didn't really interest me. And I am not really interested in developing another low 70s or high 60s rated player. There's your top 8 draft picks. Bol Bol at number 5, Williamson number 2, and Antetokounmpo's brother went number 3. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and accept him. He is a really good defensive player. He is like A+ perimeter D. Milos, we'll go ahead and extend 1. Bertans we'll let walk. Maybe there's somebody that we can use that money for. And right here, I know what you're thinking. I just said Kevin Durant was too unrealistic, but I threw a contract at LeBron anyway. And strangely enough, he agreed, but then I kind of changed my mind on that. It seemed too much of a bullshit play. I kept the cap hold on Thaddeus Young, which totally screwed me right here. I could have signed 2 big name stars, but I think we got our guy in Nikola Jokic. And then I got to re-sign our point guard bros, Lin and Milos. They're the men. Vujacic had a really, really strong year. We have bird rights on him, so why not bring him back? Now we're just kind of rounding out the roster. We'll go ahead and sign all these guys. I'll show you guys the roster at the end of free agency. I just don't want to bore you with me bartering with the free agents back and forth. Sorry guys, it was a long day at work. My mind's a bit fried, but I wanted to do this right now. I was super pumped at work to get home and record this. Alright, so Thaddeus Young, he actually wants a pretty reasonable contract, $9 million a year, but Paul Millsap comes along for 3 years and $25 million. I wanted to get another big name, and I kind of screwed myself by not signing Butler. But right here, we pretty much stole the Nuggets front court. We have Jokic, Millsap, Vujacic, Redick, Teodosic. On the books, I really want to bring Thaddeus Young back, but I just don't know if it's in the cards. Damari Carroll, he'll take a minimum, solid player. I'll go ahead and offer him that. Thomas Satoransky, I don't know, he can't really shoot. But take a look. I left off at Teodosic. We got Lynn, Knox. I do like Mario Hezonja. I want to do a my league in the future where I get like the so-called bust players and try to make a pretty solid team out of all of them. So right here I'm just throwing out more offers, and like I said guys, I will show you the final roster at the end of free agency. Right here I'm just showing you guys kind of what I went through as far as throwing out contracts. I was pretty much backed into a corner of really small contracts or minimum deals since I signed Jokic and Millsap, but I feel it was worth it. You can get some pretty cool, pretty good players for cheap. Looks like Hassan Whiteside is still on the market. I will take a flyer on Ben McLemore. He was supposedly a bust, but you know, he has a pretty good three-point stroke. I'm excited to see what he's going to do on the Grizzlies this year, but take a look at our final roster. Jokic, Millsap, Vujacic, Redick, Kevin Knox, Lin, Teodosic, Ezeli, Burks, McLemore, and those are the only players that will be getting significant time. Damari Carroll will also be getting a couple minutes. Tyler Lydon, we needed a stretch for. He fit the bill as far as our budget was concerned. Let's take a look at our power rankings. No one thinks too much of us. Our highest is number 5. But you know, number 5 is pretty good out of 31 teams. The other two power rankings were kind of in the middle. Number 16. So we got Jokic. Just taking a look at all our guys' stats here. We have sim to the end of the season. We've made the playoffs yet again, 3 years in a row. I know we don't have the most spectacular teams, or spectacular players, I should say. But you know what? 3 years in a row as a brand new team is pretty impressive. And check this out. This is not crazy as hell. Steph Curry, 46.8 points. What kind of glitch is that? I don't fucking get it. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't understand it. It scares me. But you know what? We're going to keep simulating, and we're going to beat the 76ers in the first round, our first sweep ever as an expansion team. Let's go ahead and just keep on keeping on. Let's keep simming. And we tied up 1-1 against the Cavs. I'm kind of shitting my pants because LeBron is still there. And we're 2-2, 3-2. Let's sim it. We make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Finally, this is the farthest we've made it. I want to check out these playoff stats. And you know what? Everybody has pretty solid numbers. 10 Millsap, 15.8 points a game. I'd like to see it go up, but you know what? Looks like the other players are contributing pretty well. The Bucks, who we beat in the playoffs the first year of this expansion draft league thing. All right, we're down 3-2. We're gonna be pissed if we simulate and leave it up to 2K's random ass algorithms or whatever they do. So I'm gonna do a simcast. Let's go ahead and just keep our fingers crossed that we beat them and I don't have to hop in. You guys saw what happened when I played through a whole game last time. It wasn't pretty. And it looks like we are getting our asses kicked. Oh, a little bit of a point surge right there. Right here, I kept stopping the sim just because I was nervous as hell. And I wanted to know if I was going to have to hop in. Almost had to, I'm not gonna lie. 84-72, alright, we're good. 95, 97, alright, it looks like we are going to force a game 7 against the Bucks with OP Giannis. Holy shit, let's go ahead and simcast the 7th game. I'm kind of nervous as we go into it. I don't have much luck simming, but here we are. And it looks like we don't have much to worry about. Our team came out playing pretty strong. DeMarre Carroll is injured. He doesn't play that many minutes anyways, but we have Macklemore that can step in for him. And it looks like DeMarre, take it easy. We got this shit wrapped up. Yeah, we creamed the Bucks. Super stoked to finally have made the finals. Jokic came out balling, so did Redick. Millsap almost had a triple-double. I would say everybody played exactly their role. Whoa, the Kings and the Warriors are playing game 7. Alright. Yeah, great. Our third best player just had a high ankle sprain. Vujacic, that is not good. That might have screwed us, actually. I'm nervous. Do we want to sim? Yeah. And, okay, we're down 2-0. I'll take an Eastern Conference Championship. That's fine with me. DeMarre's fully healed. Maybe he'll be our secret weapon. But right here, guys, we're down 2-1. Alright, guys, so we're down 2-1 to Golden State. And we're going to hop into the next simcast to try to knock that up at 2-2. And it looks like we're kind of squeaking out with the lead here. And I just sped this up. It wasn't all that interesting. It was kind of blowout win, to be honest with you. That's kind of how this series has been going. Just either team's blowing each other out. I did want to note Golden State doesn't have Kevin Durant. They do have the members of the core of that historic team, but I do not know why they are not blowing us out even more. Maybe 2K's making Kevin Durant matter too much to Golden State. I don't know, but I'm not complaining. We were able to tie it up with Golden State. Right here, we are going to try to go ahead and go up 3-2. And we're keeping it pretty close. May even be able to squeak this win out. Then Golden State kind of is starting to build a bit of a lead. And then once the fourth quarter happens, it's pretty much lights out for us. And I've seen it happen many times in the playoffs. When the Jazz were playing Golden State last year, they would just let you back in and then just blow you out. So no stranger to that. And so we're pretty much down 3-2. Our backs are against the ropes. We're gonna go ahead and try to knot that up. I may have to jump in this game. What is this, game 6? Because I really don't feel like losing, but I almost think Simcast may be a safer bet because I am not very good at this game yet. But luckily, we are, kind of pulling ahead here. And looks like we're kind of keeping the lead safe. You got to beware in these last minutes of the fourth. And, all right, we do squeak out with a 6-point win. So we were able to push the series to 7 games. And I'm debating if I should play game 7 or not. I just don't trust my 2K skills yet. And I'm pretty sure I'd end up down 10 in the first quarter, and that's pretty much good night. So I'm gonna elect to simcast, and looks like we're keeping it somewhat close. And I have been taking breaks in between these simcasts, as sad as that is. It's super stressful, especially when you really want to win in your third year. And this is the closest I think this team will get to the finals. The Bucks are just going to keep getting better and better. So, yeah, I think this year is our definite window. And Paul Millsap is old, so he may lose some ranking. And right here, I did decide to jump in just to keep it. I wanted to take it in my own hands. And as you can see, my great 2K skills here, I was able to get this lucky 3 with Jeremy Lin. which was super clutch by him. And I did notice Jokic, which was out, so I wanted to check why. I was seeing if he was injured, but no, he is just fouled out. And we could have put Vujacic back in, our third big three member, but I elected to keep Festus Ezelian just for that extra defense. And I wanted to kind of let him get his revenge on Golden State. JJ Redick right there on the assist from Ezeli knocks down the three, putting us up 8. JJ Redick is such a solid player in this. He's pretty good defensively. His threes are great. Highly recommend. You can usually get him on a pretty value contract, so check that out, guys. Great bench player, or even a starter, like how I used him for this. Right there, Jeremy Lin bricks a wide open shot, but we winded the clock down so much that it's pretty much lights out for Golden State, and for some reason they ran the clock down on themselves, but I'm not complaining. Right here is our championship celebration in fast forward motion. So Montreal Harfangs, our first championship in 3 years. We made the playoffs all 3 years. I went a different route when I was building this team. I wanted solid veterans all throughout the roster every year, and I think it worked out instead of trying to build a young team from scratch. Right here is we're hoisting the trophy. Jokic, of course, is going to be our finals MVP. But yeah, guys, give that team building strategy a try. Go for some solid veterans, sprinkle in some young players, and maybe get 1 or 2 free agent acquisitions, and you know what, I think you should be good. Super fun. This is my first expansion rebuild. If you guys like it, I'll go ahead and do another one. I think, like I said earlier, I'm gonna do a redemption team with guys like Dragan Bender, Hazonia, and so forth, just to see what we can do. Hopefully I can dig up Anthony Bennett in this game somewhere, stick him on that team. Let's take a final look at our stats, and I will see you guys in the next video. Alright, thanks for watching.